Hello and a very good afternoon to all. Once again, welcome back to today's webinar session. I am Megha Upadhyay, your host, and we warmly welcome you to all on today's webinar session. Today's topic is something very useful for all startups: growth hacking and scaling strategies. Growth hacking means finding smart, creative, and low-cost way to grow your business quickly. Scaling strategies help you grow your business in a stable and long-term way without losing quality or control. To talk about this interesting topic, we are very happy to welcome Ms. Sukanya Iyer ma'am, who is a Startup India mentor and experienced business strategist. She has more than 25 years of experience in helping startups grow, improve their business plans, and build strong customers relationship. Ma'am, we warmly welcome you on behalf of Gwalior Smart City Incubation Center. So, ma'am, now stage is over to you. Please start the session.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Megha.
You can start.
I can start. Good evening,
Yes, yes.
everyone. Good evening, Indore ke Vasio. And good evening to Gwalior Incubation Center people. It gives me immense pleasure to be present in front of you all. As I always start with a quote from Swami Vivekananda, to have an idea, to get an idea. If you get an idea, you put your nerves, bones, and muscles. So, startup is an idea. Okay, startup is that idea where you have innovation, you have cost effectiveness, you have data, you have experimentation, you have lot of skill strategies, you have everything, and which sums up an idea. So, Swami Vivekananda says to have an idea, when you get an idea, you put your nerves and bones and muscles. So I championed the cause of startups way back 30 years back with my organization called Bharatiya Yuva Shakti. And 30 years back, as a mentor, just last year I completed my tenure as chairperson. Now I'm in the key advisory role. So thank you, Gwalior Incubation Center people, to call me. Thank you, Megha, and your team, that you have called me for the strategies. So, Megha, I will be talking both in English and Hindi. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's okay, ma'am. Please.
Yeah. So growth hacking, what exactly hota kya hai growth hacking? So growth hacking, it refers to creative, innovative, cost-effective marketing strategies which are used to achieve good, rapid, and a sustainable business growth. It also involves a combination of marketing, प्रोडक्ट को जब कैसे डेवलप किया जाए. आजकल का तो डेटा का ज़माना है, तो इसीलिए डेटा एनालिटिक्स बहुत ज़रूरी है. एंड डेटा एनालिटिक्स किसके लिए? टू आइडेंटिफाई and also exploit various opportunities for growth model focusing on measurable results. So वो जो key aspects, जो वो next slide you can go, you can scroll, Megha, the next presentation. There is the key aspects of growth. Hacking is, we have, why it matters. I have told you, and I have covered all these things. So why we need growth hacking? Because it focuses on measurable results. Also emphasizes, tracking key metrics. So किसके हिसाब से? With the help of data to inform decisions, and also rather than relying on intuition, rapid and sustainable development growth. The goal is to achieve very quickly the sustainability aspect and effectively, but also to to build a effective and sustainable business. So growth जो hacking है, it prioritizes using low cost. Most important point. उसका जो important point जो है low cost and low cost, or we can say free strategies to achieve growth. So हम बोलते हैं experimentation. Growth also involves this hacking, or growth hacking also involves various testing, testing various strategies, various different strategies and tactics to see what works and what doesn't work. ठीक है, what is best and what is not best, then scaling up the effectiveness, the cost effective approaches. So there's also one thing called cross disciplinary approach. The next slide. So this involves, the growth hacking involves testing different strategies. Now it have become more theoretical अभी. तो मेरे हिसाब से 25 साल के पहले जब मैंने शुरू किया था मेरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, मैं एक मेंटर थी, विच इज नो आई हैड टू मेंटीज. सो मेरा जो एक मेंटर था वो है शारदा. शी वाज शी वाज इटली वेंडर. Megha, are you able to hear me? All your people, are you all able to hear me?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
ठीक है. जो मेरी जो मेंटी थी इटली वेंडर, आई वॉज टीचिंग इन हैदराबाद. दिस इज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 23 years बैक इन हैदराबाद. when I was stationed in हैदराबाद, जहाँ पे जो शारदा जो जो लेडी है उनका मैं आज केस स्टडी आप लोगों के समक्ष में रखना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि आज के ज़माने में हम लोग बहुत कुछ डेटा एनालिसिस, एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन, स्टार्टअप का ज़माना, स्किल इंडिया, बट what do we need? What an entrepreneur requires? Basically, a passion. Okay? Anytime, at any situation, given any situation, he or she should not give up. No, unicorn ऐसे नहीं बन जाते. We need to always strategize. We need to be on toe. We need to be alert, and we need to have a sustainable business model. So we also always remember we need to focus on the quality of the product, the freshness of the product, whatever you are involved in. Most importantly, so though the quality matters a lot. So मेरी जो मेंटी थी उनका नाम था शारदा. शी वॉज सेलिंग इडलीज. वो इडली बेच रही थी कॉलेज के बाहर. I used to teach for MBA, and I used to walk every day. उनके सामने ही मैं जाती थी कॉलेज कैंपस के अंदर. She used to charge, as you all know, idli is a South Indian breakfast. Now तो सभी खाते हैं. It's a staple breakfast for South Indians in South India. But अभी सब खान उस समय में 23 साल के पहले एक प्लेट में 3 इडली 10 रुपए का. ठीक है. And there was a small distillery bottle, and she also later on she had that एक बिस्लरी का एक कैन था. She used to give that water. She used to charge 5 rupees per tumbler, 5 rupees per glass. So ये सब कॉलेज के बाहर. So जब मैं जाती थी और आती थी इनको देखती रहती थी. And minimum she used to sell per for one session before 1 o'clock, minimum of 100 to 150 idlis. ठीक है. तो उसका वो गुजारा होता था. So ऐसे ही जाते जाते मैंने 1-2 महीने में, when I used to observe, I asked Sharda, is it sustainable? Is it okay for you to sell the idlis in the hot sun? Because in Hyderabad the temperatures soar up to 40 degrees in the mornings in during the summer, and otherwise it is very very humid climate, because the batter becomes एक sour हो जाता है. Idlis they become very rough, or it becomes sour in taste, खट्टा हो जाता है. तो मैंने उनको पूछा, तो how do you maintain the quality? So she said, I prepare the idlis, and she also उस जमाने में इंडक्शन का इतना नहीं था. So she had that small stove on the on the side, and अगर होता तो idli she used to heat it. So she had her own traditional way of heating idlis, and in the idli pan, and she used to give them, or she used to prepare the idlis at home and then give, maintaining the freshness of the product, or else if she doesn't maintain that, she's going to incur loss. तो ये मैंने पूछा. So then I had a thought process, because being a mentor in my own organization called Bharati Yuva Shakti Trust, I told her, is it sustainable? She says, गुजारा हो जाता है मैडम, आप सब लोग ले लेते हो, स्टूडेंट्स आके ले लेते हैं. स्टूडेंट्स को sometimes most of them, they were from hostel, and they were all from business. They were all pursuing MBA degrees. So in the front of ICFI College, Institute of Chartered Financial Analyst of India, it's a famous college in Hyderabad. So I used to monitor her, I used to talk to her, I had observed her. Then put this case in front of the panel of my organization, entrepreneurship panel. We have an entrepreneur selection ESP. We have a committee called Entrepreneurs Selection Panel. They said, if you find feasible, if you find that we can give a loan to her, and then if you, on her behalf, draft a project report. So I drafted a project report टेलिंग दैट क्या क्या बेचती हैं, क्या कर सकती हैं, उनके अंदर क्या हुनर है, क्या आई ऑब्जर्व. सो ड्राफ्टेड अ प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट, कॉल्ड हर टू माय ऑफिस. ये सब चलता रहा 3 महीने, 4 महीने. ये सब मैं बैकग्राउंड में प्रिपरेशन कर रही थी. मीनवाइल आई टुक हर इनसाइड द कॉलेज. शी वाज डूइंग आउटसाइड, आई टुक हर इनसाइड द कॉलेज. मैंने कैंटीन वाला को रिक्वेस्ट किया, प्लीज गिव हर अ स्मॉल स्पेस, क्योंकि अगर आप स्मॉल स्पेस दोगे तो आपका बिजनेस अफेक्ट नहीं होगा, आई गारंटी दैट. देन बट बीइंग business is business, competition is competition for everyone, by being it a small vendor, big vendor, or medium vendor. But he acknowledged, because since I was a professor there, a small space was given to her. Then she had done it, and the freshness was maintained, because the canteen had proper ventilation and hygienic atmosphere. उधर जाके उन्होंने इडली कॉर्नर में बेचा, तो बहुत भीड़ हुई उधर इडली के पास. तो उन्होंने बोला, मैडम जी, तो मैंने बोला कोई बात नहीं, उनका एक बैकग्राउंड है, तो वो करने दो. आप एक महिला को एक इतना अच्छा पनाह दे रहे हैं, हम लोग करेंगे ना, तो अच्छी बात है आपके लिए भी. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. सो दिस the case study, what I'm referring is the marketing technologies, that you see the various tools that on your things, that on your monitor, that you're seeing. All these things are applicable to the Sharda caterer and to the vendor. So क्या हुआ, तो the canteen wala, he acknowledged, he said, okay, let her come beside me near the accounts counter, so that she can. So she was given a bigger space next to him. She had done that. This was going on for more than 6 months. Later on, my project report for Sharda Caterers was ready. So in my panel, there was a person who owned a 1 BHK flat. Okay. So उन्होंने बोला कि इस लेडी को मैं अपने तरफ से, मेरे पास एक 1 BHK है, एट प्रेजेंट मैं उसे रेंट नहीं लूंगा. ओके, दैट रेंट विल नॉट बी डिडक्टेड फॉर नेक्स्ट 6 months. एंड आप जो बोलते हैं, बिकॉज शी हैड अ बैकग्राउंड, a family background, where her husband had left her, deserted her, छोड़ के चले गए 2 बच्चियों के साथ. तो उसके पास 2 बच्चियां थी, वो बच्चों स्कूल में पढ़ा रही थी बच्चियों को, और ये इटली का भी बिजनेस कर रही थी. तो ये बैकग्राउंड चेक किया मैंने, एंड I sense that she also has a passion. Then I took her to my office in Hyderabad. Project report, I took her to Bank of Baroda for the ratification of the project report. I showed the mentees, abilities, the skill sets. I asked her to explain to the bank manager. This all happened 23 years ago. So she explained, she was interviewed, the mentee was interviewed. Then the bank asserted that she doesn't have any background. She doesn't have, so we, entrepreneurship selection panel, we all went on behalf of our organization. We told her, we will monitor step by step by giving hand holding. Most important, a mentor has to give hand holding, has to do this. The ek bar. So we had influenced her. So the various ways, the various strategies, the various steps that we followed her step by step, we influenced her, that we said, you can do it. So step by step mentoring, we took her to the Bank of Baroda. We took the candidate also. They assessed her. They also went to the spot, the canteen, and they said one of our entrepreneur इस selection panel के जो member थे उनका BHK 1 BHK, that bank people they came and inspected, and this Sharda she started. She was given the first loan 23 years ago. She was given 3.5 lakhs for 6 months. 3.5 lakhs for 6 months without any rate of interest being charged, because she had come through our organization and we had a tie up with these organizations, with these banks, national banks. So they said, you are giving this guarantee, you have drafted this report, so we are charging her nil rate of interest. So this was the situation, and then we took her, and then she started in 1 BHK, and that owner of that 1 BHK waived electricity charge, waived her electricity charge, because जो बैटर जो बनता है इडली का जो बैटर बनता है ग्राइंडर, so the grinder has to be plugged in. Okay, it is not manual, it has an electrical grinder. So rent and the cost effectiveness. Okay, these are the various tools that we, next slide please. These are the various tools that we effectively use for that mentee, stage by stage, step by step, in various aspects, to help her to do her business. We did especially underprivileged section of the society. उन्होंने अपना काम शुरू किया. 6 महीने के बाद उनको लोन सैंक्शन हुआ. 7वें महीने में उन्होंने अपना ये शुरू किया 1 BHK में. ऐसे ही दौरा चलता रहा. शी बिकेम थोड़ा उन्होंने अपना 1 साल में उन्होंने थोड़ा लोन चुकाया. 3.5 लाख का था तो उन्होंने 10K 5K ऐसे ऐसे करके चुकाया, बिकॉज शी ऑल्सो सेट, एंड वी every time I had monitored her personally. I also taught her. At that time, it was Tally. Okay, now you do not have, you have all an Excel sheet. We made her to get the training in the local computer institute, and we asked her to open a ledger, book of accounts, because she cannot afford. क्या कहाँ क्या लॉस हुआ, क्या कहाँ प्रॉफिट हुआ, रॉ मटेरियल्स में कौन सा, कहाँ से रॉ मटेरियल्स, कौन सा चीपर रॉ मटेरियल्स ले सकते हैं. Raw, because for Italy, the raw materials are food materials. The rice, the quality of the rice, urad ka dal. Okay, why the idlis are puffy? Some people complain, the customers complain, बहुत puffy हो रहा है, sour हो रहा है, बहुत hard हो रहा है, soft. So all this combination, raw material accessibility, cheaper cost. She had tied up in the local kirana store where she can get the cheaper, at cheaper rate. So the cost effectiveness also mattered. So every stage I had mentored her, and this was a growth story. What happened was, in between, we all had, she had come and she had been supplying to various schools. She had started supplying to the entire canteen wala in the college, to the professor in the morning, also every morning for the breakfast. And she also simultaneously, she expanded herself. Okay, she had hired one more person. She had to hire because her business has been growing. So she came to us. मेरे को एक और रखना है because अकेली में मैं नहीं कर पाती हूँ. So she hired one more. She had to pay. So that is an expansion growth model. It's a small this thing example, but it's a small startup. But how the thought process, how the hand holding, how the step by step meticulation in planning and effectiveness, and also she collected in this area near to me. There are some 20 people. In the colleges, professors are 50. So she wrote, she maintained 50 people. In the morning, I had to supply, and in the evening, I had to supply this much. She maintained the data. She learned the tally, and she also appointed one more person. Then she started supplying to the entire started. She supplied throughout Hyderabad. Friends, today in during Corona, now Zomato and Swiggy, and throughout the Hyderabad, everyone has started using her. Now she's become a unicorn, and everyone, also the film stars, the Tollywood, those people, they also Sharda caterers. She is one of the famous person, Italy vendors, Italy walas, like Rameshwaram Cafe in Bengaluru. You have various places, like Sarafa, you say, इंदौरी का सराफा ऐसा कुछ बोलते हैं ना आप लोग. ऐसे ही आप इंदौर का जो पोहा जो फेमस है, वैसे शारदा का जो इडली जो स्टॉल है इडली का जो उसका जो मेस है, even Swiggy, Zomato uses, and she is supplying. She is very self-sufficient now. One BHK, that she is bought that one BHK. Now from one BHK, whoever had given to her, she had bought in the EMI, and that EMI got finished during Corona. And from one BHK, she elevated herself to two BHK. Now both the daughters are settled. One of them is in Incubation. One of them is in Strategist. Now, both the daughters are settled. One of them is in Strategist. One of them is in Incubation. And she had been telling me, come what may, whether it's a loss, whether it's a profitable venture, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to give up. I will return your loan. I will return. I also maintain the quality, and I also when it became 2000 no 15 16 came social media का जमाना. तब उन्होंने क्या किया, व्हाट्सएप में फ्लोट किया. Corona, for her, it was a blessing in disguise. She had supplied entire apartments, entire colonies. She has now a team working with her, more than 150 to 200 people working for her. Sharda Caterer is a classic successful case study. You do not give up. You speak to people with honesty, with grit and determination. So this was the case study which I always feel that um, you know how with minimal spending, with how the thought process is that how you can being a mentor, how you can tell them that use all these tools, use all these methodology, get yourself upgraded in the technology also. Try to utilize us, people like us, mentors, who wherever, suppose if I am not good in finance, I am good in marketing, I am good in brand building exercise, because I'm a PhD in economics, and I'm an academics or an industry preface, and whoever I have to all my friends, relatives, everyone I had sent a word. So that way it had happened. And I had also asked my technology expert, giving her now and then an upgradation in data training. Now she has 2 to 3 people only and only giving her data, which section for urban segment, where she has a mix of both upper middle class, and the elite class. So she has, separated elite class ke liye ek rate, and upper middle class another rate, and for for lower middle class a rate. So there's a data analytics team. They are constantly experimenting. They are doing a market survey for her. There's a market survey team for her, which says, now and then, whether it's a mendu vada, whether it's Italy, whether it's a samba. Now she is going to open a chain of restaurants throughout Hyderabad. So the span of 23 years, okay, the span of 23 years from selling an idli outside, outside the college campus, and coming all the way, step by step, stage by stage. Sometimes at loss, she might not, she will she was not able to pay back the loan. She had approached us, and we had to, because we had good tie-ups with the relationship with the banks and the bank manager. They used to come and now and then inspect the site, inspect the place where she was doing her business, and make sure that business was based on sustainable growth model. So it was growing, it was expanding, and sometimes it wasn't, but timely intervention from my side, mentoring from all aspects, 360-degree perspective I gave by bringing in expert, technology expert, finance expert. Now she has an auditor from our own expert committee. There's an auditor who audits all her profit and loss account. Every year there's an audit, so she's going to go on a big way. So this is the way you'll have to do a sustainable model. So whenever we see that there's an exponential growth, we also see, when there is a growth process, we also see the spend, the expenditure is is minimized. Okay, that expenditure is minimized, but the revenue aspect is more. But always remember, the quality matters. When it comes to perishables, especially when it comes to food items, the quality matters, because you are surrounded by stiff competition. There was a lot of competition. She was always on the competitive edge, because in South India, every person is very good. And during Corona period, lot of small vendors mushroomed, but her taste, her preferences of the raw materials, the choice of the materials, the way the dough it was prepared, and it didn't affect anyone. And she had supplied in health, sustainable, eco-friendly manner, in banana leaf, all those eco-friendly products she had used. She never supplied on plastic cans. That was a USP. Okay, she had started using way back during Corona period. She said, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री का एक आह्वान है कि we should stop using single usage of plastic. So she had followed that, and she started using eco-friendly products, and there were no plastic cans. So now, with her thought process, she has also she supplies. Now if you use her in Hyderabad, she supplies user friendly matkas for dahi. That also she supplies. And like you have matka kulfi, so she gives in matka dahi, and the water, and also the lunch, or everything is packed. The idlis are packed, hot steaming idlis are packed in banana leaf. Everything is banana leaf, or the banana, the rob that you have the banana plates. So that is what. So she had taken care of the atmosphere. She has taken care of the business in the most profitable way. Whatever the sustaining, using all the piece, the price, the position, and also the quality of the product, the positioning of the product, the promotion of the product. She used the WhatsApp as a effective medium tool to propagandize, because she didn't have money to give it to any sort of advertisements. She had given by word of mouth. She had gone to the colleges. From the word of mouth, it spread. Now she uses all effective marketing tools, and all those tools effectively for herself. Now her name is a household name in Hyderabad. She become a unicorn. It's a proud moment. It's a proud feeling that our children are settled, and her husband also wants to come back. And she said, "No, I do not want my husband back, because I have struggled myself, I have sustained myself, and I have my own business." So जब सक्सेस होता है, कामयाब होते हैं, तो लोग आ जाते हैं. तो एक मिसाल है शारदा जो केटर है. तो ये हमको सिखाता है It's a case study. Why I wanted to tell every one of you is that come what may, don't let down your passion. Don't let yourself down. The entrepreneur at any cost, you will not. eh, एकदम nowadays many startup, I feel whenever I go to any mentoring session or whenever I go to any talk or any display expert talk, what I always feel that why for me I'm incurring loss. एकदम आप तीसरे दिन में यूनिकॉर्न नहीं बन सकते. You cannot become. Tata never became like that. It was a legacy which was followed. He had a USP of corporate governance. Governance was his key. CSR initiatives. So Sharda also now whatever that amount she got an extra amount, she has started supplying free idlis to old age homes. Okay, so that also is an aspect. So she also incentivizes the customers. So I didn't so before I you're all having the this thing like you have Swiggy, you have 150 offer or something. She's just gave extra one Italy. It was, from a bigger idli, the extra one was little smaller with one vada. So that extra one was given by her. So that was the way she incentivized, and she incentivized her employees by giving, if they work for an extra hour, they will be fed on that day for throughout the day. That is, अगर वो 1 घंटा भी काम करते हैं तो उनका लंच या रात का खाना या नाश्ता उधर ही उनको खाने को मिलेगा. So she incentivizes the customer for the name she has, the brand she has built. So customers, they thronged her place. Now she's going to start the restaurant. She's also using the same name, woman, with the idlis on hand. So this is what it is. So she has become a classic example, for for rapid growth and sustainable growth. It is also referred to as a process, not as a sprint. And as a process and a continuous skills and also effective communication. She had used her language skills. She was good in Hindi. In Hyderabad, you can use both Telugu and Hindi. And she, believe it or not, even Muslim people, they were also, mostly Muslims, they now Muslim or Hindu in Hyderabad, all the religions, they come and they, give her the orders, and all the communities, they have very good opinion about her food, about her quality, about the freshness of the product, about the packaging of a product, about the pricing about the product, the positioning of the product, and she also timely recalls the brand now and then. And also now and then she also goes and helps the upcoming, the people, and she says that मैडम जी मुझे भी कल देखा मैंने 2-3 औरतों को इडली को बेचा, तो मैं उन लोगों को भी जाके बोलती हूँ कि आप ऐसे ऐसा करिए, मैं भी ऐसे ही थी, तो कभी कभी उन लोगों को भी मैं जाके बोलती हूँ. So this is how it is. When you become yourself a self-reliant business model, try to help the other person, give a hand holding to you become a mentor. Okay, that is how the cycle has to grow. That is how the startup has to grow. And the startup model can be a sustainable model. This was one. Mega, I'll just take 10 more minutes, to explain one more business case.
Sure,
Apart
ma'am.
from the
Sure.
Sharda, there was one more person called Dilip, okay, in the same Hyderabad city. Okay, that Dilip had the same. He was uneducated. He was a 10th class dropout, and when he came to me and he said that I wanted to start a cycle shop, and went to the spot, and एक सुनसान जगह था वो, and he said, I want to start a cycle. मैंने सर उस जमाने में you can take the cycle on hire. Okay, so oh, he had 2 3 cycles, and he there was a small room and एक पंप था उसके पास, and कभी पंक्चर लगता तो पंप को सब करके पंक्चर लगा के हवा भरने का. So for 1 hour he used to charge, you know, this was 2 years later. So 1 hour he used to charge, 30 rupees. So cycle leke jate the, for 1 hour. You can go to any kilometers, but 1 hour you. Now you have YOLO bikes, which is GPS, YOLO bikes, which is GPS controlled, and it stops right on the spot when the time completes. So there was no satellite positioning, but they have to come and give, because उनके पास तब इतना accessibility नहीं था, mapping नहीं था. So these are all I'm telling you for nowadays entrepreneurs, that the entrepreneurs who you people have got enough, resources. You have data, you have technology in hand, you can do wonders. Only one thing is that how are you going to sustainable? Finance, venture capitalists are there to come and help you. But it is up to you to sustain your business model by following all the pricing strategies, all the positioning of the product, the packaging, and how you incentivize, how you program yourself, and time you have to do a market survey. Market research is a key or is a key parameter. So this person, he came to me and he said, "Madam ji, मुझे एक cycle shop शुरू करना है." He doesn't have any. By default, he wanted to start because by virtue of education, he was not an MBA. He wanted to start an enterprise. So then I went to the spot. वो सुनसान जगह में गई, 3 साइकिल था उसके पास. मैंने बोला कैसे शुरू करोगे, बोर्ड नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, कैसे, कौन आएगा? आप बोलिए मैडम, स्टेप बाय स्टेप मुझे करिए, मैं सब कुछ करूँगा. सो दो दिस केस केम फ्रॉम माय एंटरप्रेन्योर सिलेक्शन पैनल. आपने शारदा को एक मुकाम मंजिल पे पहुंचाया, इसको भी एक मंजिल पे पहुंचाइए. देन his name was Dilip. So then I went and I studied about the area, the demography, whether और कोई साइकिल वाला है क्या. In a kilometer, less than more than a kilometer, there were no cycle shops. He was the cycle owner, and at that time, there were school students were there. They had to go to tuitions, so they had hired. So this I got it in my this I got the thing in my mind. I drafted a project report telling, at low cost model, how he can buy, through us, how he can buy 2 more good cycles, and then he can start his own cycle shop. Then we asked him, we did a thorough background check that he was a school dropout, his family, everything. He's promised us that he will do it. Time with the timely intervention, step by step mentoring, he will do. Then I kept on mentoring. I drafted a project report on his cycle shop, also a board. If you put a board, you'll have to pay a sales tax. So I put a board, Dilip Cycle Works. So उसका एक सेल्स टैक्स, एक हमने उसका भी वो भी बनाया मॉडल. इसको भी मैंने टैली में, उसको भी मैंने दिया, ट्रेनिंग दिया. आई आस्क्ड माय टेक्नोलॉजी एक्सपर्ट to give a training, and he got it. There was uh, you know a small computer given, उनको timely उसको दिया गया. It was a 10th, but he had an urge to learn the computer skills. उसको now and then कितने लोग आए, name of the person, amount, everything was keen in. So everything was systematically. There was a software created, and he had to do it on his own. So we took him, we gave him 2 lakhs. We gave him 2 lakhs for 4 months. We gave him 2 lakhs for 4 months, and we said, let's see how he's going to do, because we knew he was different from Sharda. So because he's a young guy, Sharda was more of, she had struggled, but this guy is a young, so we had to watch. So when the Bank of Baroda gave 2 lakhs for 4 months, we said, you have to work very hard, you will have to return, and these are the ways 1% rate of interest was charged without any for the her Sharda no rate of interest, but for him 1% because he was coming from very very downtrodden section of the society. तो उसको लेके गए बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा में, उन्होंने बहुत क्वेश्चन वगैरह किया, उसको शॉप को जाके इंस्पेक्ट किया बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा पीपल, द मैनेजर सेड trusting on me, he said okay, because they all saw the success of Sharda, so they gave for this Dilip also, we got it, and he bought two more cycles. Okay. And then he started giving for school students तो बहुत सारे होते हैं जब 500 बड़ा स्कूल था, 500 का था, तो बहुत सारे लोग, द ट्यूशन सेंटर भी पास में था. सो आई टोल्ड हिम द ट्यूशन सेंटर इज मिनिमम, सो गिव देम इंसेंटिव्स. अगर 1 घंटा है तो उनको 1 घंटा 10 मिनट दे दो या 15 मिनट दो, ऐसे ऐसे करके एक इंसेंटिव दो उनको. तो 30 से अगर तुमको लगता है 30 रुपए, अगर वो बहुत सारे आते हैं तो रेगुलर कस्टमर को थोड़ा कम करो. ठीक है. एट दैट टाइम आई हैड टोल्ड हिम अगर रेगुलर कस्टमर है तो कम करो. तो मेनी पीपल दे सेड दे स्टार्टेड यूजिंग फॉर मोर देन 2 hours. एंड ऐसा हुआ, बच्चे लोगों ने कभी कभी साइकिल गुम हो जाता था, देन ही यूज्ड टू कम एंड टेल अस I had lost a cycle. Then I had to approach again to my selection panel that there's a loss of a cycle. But fortunately, from our own people, committee people, there was one person who said, I'm having my own cycle, it's lying idle, I will give my cycle. So usko aisa diya gaya. So that way, that kept on, went on doing. It was, 3 months, 2.5 to 3 months, you know, in a the sustainable model was such that the business was such that he was able to earn 50 to 60,000 rupees per month. There was no problem for electricity because he is not using any grinder or something. Only problem was that puncture, usko tire ka bursting, and the maintenance of the cycle. So he himself had that passion. पंचर हो गया तो उसको पंचर को डालना, उसको ये पेस्ट वगैरह करना, सब कुछ करके दिन रात मेहनत करके 50,000 करके he was able to give only for us 50,000 rupees. जो 4 महीने में जो उसने किया, बाकी सबको अभी उसने, क्योंकि 2 साइकिल उन्होंने दिया और एक में तो हमारे सिलेक्शन पैनल कमेटी ने उनको 1 साइकिल ऐसे ही दे दिया. तो ऐसे ही करके within 6 months he was able to give the loan amount and also the rate of interest. To be very honest with you all, the journey started like this and it continued for more than 2-3 years like this. He started many of the office goers from there. They started using it for station. और स्टेशन से उसके दोस्त लेके आके रखते थे, वहाँ पे छोड़ देते थे और लेके आके रखते थे. ऐसा ही मामला हुआ. आज he is an exporter of BSA cycles. Okay, he is an exporter of BSA cycles stationed in Hyderabad. उधर ही बहुत बड़ा उसने फैक्ट्री लगाया है and उसी जगह में, and he has got acres and acres of land. He manufactures and exporter of BSA cycles. उन्होंने जाके बैंक वालों को पूरा किश्त चुकाया and the बैंक वाले they used to come, they had given him from 2 to 5 to 10 lakhs. So 3 साल में 5 साल में ऐसे हुआ and step by step mentoring I had to do. I'm cutting it short because it will cross more than an hour. So this is the way, and he also incentivized now and then to the customer, take it. Sometimes they had said, for their birthdays, he used to give them an extra, for Valentine's Day. At the time, he used to say, okay, fine, for the pairs, you can give 2 cycles, you take 2 cycles. So like that and all, he had done a lot of marketing strategies. Now he has positioned his cycle in such a way, depreciation charges भी होता था, wear and tear भी होता था. He bought the cycles. Now and then he expanded his business with lot of referral programs and incentivizing, positioning his product, timely market research, market survey with his team. He's got an employee, 500 people working for him. He's an exporter of BSA cycle. He's settled with a family with two kids, happily settled. Nowadays, some because I moved out of Hyderabad, now I'm in Pune. So whenever I go and meet him, I I'm very proud to see that I had to wait for him for 1 hour minimum to get an appointment to see him. Similarly to Sharda. So these people, when they can scale up without any education, without any training, and with the skill sets, now and then we give skill set training, we handhold them, step by step monitoring for scaling to greater heights. And so this is the way the growth hacking has to be implemented with a low cost effectiveness, with the sustainable development growth models, with the business model where you also take care of your atmosphere, your the way you can carry out your business eco-friendly way, assessing the moods, the the habits of your customers, and how effectively you can manage your rivals, being in competitive edge. So all these things you also have, कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ कर लेंगे, हम यूनिकॉर्न बन जाएंगे, ये नहीं होगा. उस एटीट्यूड you all should come out. The entrepreneurs, you all should be on alert mode. You should be on always in alert mode. एक तो सीखने की इच्छा रखिए, एक हमेशा स्किल को अपनाइए, स्किल ट्रेनिंग को अपनाइए, नया नया सोचते रहिए. इनोवेशन इज की. अगर महिंद्रा खाली एक्सयूवी तक सीमित होता या खाली छोटे छोटे कारों तक सीमित होता, वी वुडंट हैव गॉट so many models. Okay, Make in India, the initiative we have got, our government is doing a lot of impetus, it's giving due impetus to Make in India, Skill India initiatives, Startup India initiatives. Lot of yojanas are there, especially for downtrodden. This is Kalyani scheme, Cent scheme, zero collateral, zero rate of interest. You can loans are given up to uh, 5 to 10 lakhs, 0 to 5 lakhs, and 5 to 10 lakhs. So step by step upgradation, all these schemes are there. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, where you can start your own you know बैंक जो खाता है, अगर खाता है आपके पास दिखा सकते हैं, कोई भी नेशनलाइज्ड बैंक, एनी बैंक, भाई कैनरा बैंक, बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा, पंजाब नेशनल बैंक, एनी बैंक, all the banks, you please go sit with them and ask them what are all the yojanas applicable for MSMEs. And you have all the you know you have all yojanas being given by our government of India people, and they are so effectively implemented. The policies are for Startup India. So anyone, any point of time, you all need any kind of assistance, guidance, you all can approach Megha. You can give my email ID to them. They can approach me. They can ask me for guidance. I can, whatever, with my limited resources and means, I will connect you to the right person for the right, departments, the right skill initiatives, the right yojanas, where and how you can approach them. You can do that. And I also request the volunteer incubation. We can invite startup people, and we can ask them to come and speak about their success stories also, whenever they have time. And whenever you want me to come and share, I am ready to any time to come and share all my experiences with my domain expertise, which is marketing and branding, and all these my step by step handholding mentoring experience. I am there to solve your problems, issues, and importantly, give yourself skill training. Always skill yourself. That is most important. हुनर को पहचानिए, पंखों को उड़ने दीजिए, अपने आप को पहचानिए, अपने हुनर को पहचानिए, अपने आप को पहचानिए, और अपने बलबूते में एक बिजनेस शुरू करिए जो सस्टेनेबल हो. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं अगर लॉस होता है, लॉस होना चाहिए, कोई भी 2-3 दिन में यूनिकॉर्न नहीं बन सकता. वो एटीट्यूड छोड़ दीजिए. That attitude break even, and that has to be there. So with that, I end my my thought process. अगर आप लोगों को कुछ भी कहीं पे भी लगे assistance चाहिए, you all can go through my Facebook ID Sukanya Iyer, and I am followed by Prime Minister Modi in the Twitter. Many of my ministries they take my expert opinions. I write for many, the Daily Guardian, many online portals. You can all view my articles. I write extensively on Government of India Yojanas, especially for MSMEs. Anytime, any point of time, you require any assistance, I'm there to assist you. Thank you so much, Megha. Thank you, Gwalior Incubation Center, for inviting me and making me to share my thought process. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your insights and such a very true stories like Sharda caters and all maybe. So I think this is a very interesting and insightful session for us. So thank you so much for joining us once again from Gwalior Smart City Incubation Center. Thank you, ma'am.
Hope everyone is benefited, and hope everyone gets motivated,
Definitely.
and hope everyone gets encouraged, and they should not feel let down. They should always move on. There should be always a comma instead of a full stop in your life. Thank you. Thank you, Megha.
Thank you, ma'am.
I can switch off.
Yes.